chicken cordon bleu. Then we're gonna do Cajun style. So we're gonna start off with our chicken. We're gonna use Zapp's pretzels that we're gonna grind down to make our cornmeal on the outside of it. Chicken cordon bleu is simply chicken stuffed with ham and Swiss cheese. So we're gonna use Black Forest ham, Swiss cheese, chicken breast. We're gonna crust it on the outside with the Zapp's. It's way easier than it sounds. So our first step is to butterfly the chicken. And what that means is that you have your chicken breast, and what you do is you take your fat part and you cut through it right down the center like that. So you're gonna cut down the center, and then it makes this spread open breast once you cut it down the center. That's where you're gonna stuff all of your stuffing. So once you have your chicken breasts done, and so all of them are cut open, then you're going to take, and I always suggest to just go ahead and get sliced Swiss cheese. So at that point, you take your sliced Swiss cheese and you lay it down, because at the end of the day, everything is a burrito. So you're gonna lay down your Swiss cheese and get it ready. So then you're gonna take your Black Forest ham and literally just lay it down. I mean, lay it down right on top of that Swiss cheese. And then now you have your chicken, your Swiss cheese, your ham in the chicken, and then you simply just roll it up. And that's it. So almost like you're making a burrito, but you're doing a Swiss cheese, ham and chicken roll up. So once you have this, you just make a few of them. So now you have your chicken rolled up with the meat and cheese in them. We're now to the next step. So for this, instead of using breadcrumbs, we're gonna use Zapp's pretzels. As far as making the breadcrumbs, you can use panko, you use breadcrumbs. You can make your own breadcrumbs from stale bread that you ground up. But the main thing is that you're gonna need a food processor to make the breadcrumbs. So now you're gonna take a few eggs and crack them into a bowl so you can make the dip. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna end up taking your chicken that you just rolled up, and you're gonna roll it in some eggs, and that's what's gonna make the breadcrumbs stick to it. Pretty simple. So now I crack some eggs, and I'm just gonna whip them up real quick to be able to make the binding agent for the outside of the chicken. So I'm gonna spray my pan with oil real quick. And the next step, very simple. We're gonna take the chicken that we already ran up. We're gonna roll it through the egg wash, just very simply. And then we're gonna take it and put it through our breadcrumbs. And then as we get it covered in our breadcrumbs, we're gonna roll it up. Make sure that there's a little bit of good breadcrumby on it. And after that, set it on our pan. It's that simple. Now we're just gonna do the rest of them. It's just that easy. Our chicken cordon bleu is ready to go into the oven. So I have the oven right now preheated to 400 degrees, and I'm gonna put it in there for about 20 to 30 minutes, but I'm gonna be checking the internal temp. As soon as the internal temp is at 165 degrees, that chicken is good to go. Another trick is that you can look at it visually. Whenever the oil runs clear, you also know the chicken is ready. So if it still has a milky white look to the oil, chicken's not ready yet. Leave it in for a little bit longer. So now our oven's all preheated. We have our southern chicken cordon bleu, 400. We're just gonna put it in the oven and put it in at the top rack. So that way the heat rises up and it crispens it up faster. So for our side, we're just gonna be doing some simple green beans. It actually is pretty hard to screw up green beans. Green beans, onions, butter, salt, pepper. We're gonna add a special ingredient. It's Tony Chachere's no salt. You'll understand why in a minute. So first step would be is to get your butter in there. Melt your butter. If you're gonna use the oil, make sure you use a high temp oil, something like an avocado oil, or a coconut oil, if you prefer. But a low smoke oil, like an olive oil, you're not gonna wanna use. It's gonna smoke up your kitchen. So while we're waiting on our butter to melt, we're gonna start off with both a yellow and a white onion. So we're gonna take it and we're gonna dice these both up. Now, white onions have a much cleaner, but kind of a spicy taste, where yellow onions give a much more rich flavor. By using the both of them, they make a really solid green bean. All right, so now your onions are chopped up, you got them in your butter, and you've got your white onion and your yellow onion, and what you're gonna do is you're just gonna put this on like a medium low and basically let this sit and then stir it occasionally to make sure that nothing burns. And if they're on too hot, they'll blacken or brown. What you want to do in this phase is actually keep them on a lower heat, and that way they kind of caramelize. So what you're trying to do is mature the sugars and mature the flavors. It pays off in the end. So you want to get your onions going, and they're gonna be, just cooking for a minute, but they will reduce down. And once they reduce and they start to brown just ever so much, that's when we know the sugars are caramelized and they're ready to go. So once your onions have browned just ever so much, but not fully cooked, that's when you want to throw your green beans in. Because what you really want is you want your green beans to absorb the flavor of the onions, but you do want the onions to mature a little bit before they get in there so that the good flavor of the onions does mix in with the green beans. So this is where I'm gonna teach y'all about one of my favorite ingredients. So Tony Chachere, no salt. So the big thing is that Tony Chachere, Slap Your Mama, and a lot of the other real famous Cajun seasonings, they have a really high salt content. And so whenever you're looking to make something and you want that flavor, but you don't want all that salt content, get the no salt. Add the salt into it later. All right, so now, our Cajun chicken cordon bleu is done, son. So there we go. That's it right there. Check that out. All nice and warm and toasty. And our green beans over here on the side. And at this point, you can see that the onions are nice and brown and caramelized. And because we slightly preheated them, they are perfect going into our green beans. So now we've got our green beans and our chicken.